Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Follygon, and this is part 23 of Sculpting D.VA from Overwatch. In this episode, we are going to be working on paint, materials, and a few other little things here. But as I'm going through here, you can obviously tell that the footage is sped up, and that's because a lot of this stuff is just some tests, some quick stuff that I'm playing around with, some different materials. I'll tell you a little bit about those, but as we get closer to the end, I'll play it all in real time so we don't have to fast forward through every little part, but the repetitive stuff I kind of want to get out of the way here in the beginning. As you can see, I'm using the Skin Shade 4 material for most of the time while working on this. When I do some quick little changes to proportions, I'll probably switch back to my Follygon clay material, but for now, again, using that Skin Shade 4, as well as playing around right now with that Zebro skin material. You can get that by Googling Zebro Viewport skin material. If you can't spell that out, you can see the name occasionally pop up over there on the left panel side under material. I'm trying to get those characteristic triangular whiskers, I guess is what I would call them, on D.Va's cheeks, and I play around with those for a while, just trying to get the position correct. I end up redoing them at the here in a little bit, but I don't want to keep, showing you how I do it and not explain it, so at the end I'll explain the process using the mask lasso brush. Right now, I'm trying out the new poly skin material in ZBrush. I think it's new to ZBrush 4.8. I might be mistaken in that, but it's new to me, so I just kind of play around with a few settings in here. Mainly, I just play around with the mono, I believe it's just called the monochromatic A and B slider, just to get rid of a little bit of the color in the material that's kind of already on there. With the default color, it's not really the skin tone that I was looking for D.Va. D.Va plays video games and hangs out inside all day, so she's not quite as orange as the poly skin material has there. So I create a new one and then I save it out as a polyskin D.Va or something along those lines. And then I have that material for later if I open up the project and need the material back exactly where I saved it. And if you want that material, I'm going to throw it in the bonus content along with the base mesh of this character, which you can get from the bonus content tier over on my Patreon. Just check the link down in the description. Alright, so now we're going to actually redo these little triangular whiskers again, and I'll show you my technique for it. If you are not familiar with the mask lasso tool, I talk about it all the time. It's my favorite masking tool. It's just really quick and good for getting some accurate kind of masks, depending on what shape you're looking for. But as you can see, I start off by just starting the mask on the right side or the front part of her face there, looping it around, and then getting a straight line from that mask lasso. I use the same technique, this time by holding Alt to get a subtraction, and I do that on the bottom, and you can already see that we're getting the triangular shape there. And then the last part is to just line it up from the side, loop it back around, get that straight line, and try to find the angle that I'm looking for. And I'm looking at a few different references, trying to find exactly where I want it, and then letting go of that. And you can see that we get a pretty decent triangular shape there. So that's how I was doing it in the past. You could probably figure that out by watching the sped up version, but there's the step-by-step process, not too complicated. From there, the only thing you need to do is grab that standard brush or whatever brush you're using to paint. I like to use the standard brush. Throw on RGB. I just select that skin tone, erase the excess color that I'm not going to need anymore because I'm redoing them yet again. Press the C key and you'll sample whatever color your cursor is hovering over. And I just use that fill object button on the left side panel there. After that, do the exact same thing, just speed it up again just so you can kind of see how quick and easy it is. It's just not too difficult. I'm going to speed up through this as well because you've seen me mess with the eyelashes so many times here. I'm sure it's getting old. What I attempt to do here is just to give them more of a feminine appeal, kind of just a more stylized feminine appeal, as well as adjust the eye distance between one another. They were a bit too far apart for my liking, and the eyelashes were looking a bit too SpongeBob-y for me. So thick to thin, keep that in mind as you're working with eyelashes, as well as just kind of the curve and placement and all that. The last thing that I do here that you can kind of see me working on is setting up this box, and you might not know how to do this, but if you have any object, you can come down in your tool palette here on the right side and scroll all the way down to initialize, and you can create a primitive from that. And by from that, I mean from any subtool that you're working with, as long as it doesn't have any subdivision levels. What I'm working on here is the headphones, and we will go ahead and cover the headphones in more detail in the next episode, as well as going over some cool hard surface stuff. I'll talk about as much as I can, and hopefully you guys can learn a lot from watching me do that. And I'll see you guys over there. All right, thanks for watching, guys.